Hello everybody, Suzanne Kellner-Zinck, Dawning Visions Hypnosis, speaking about something that is not well understood in the world of psychiatric or psychology in the conventional world at all. And this is particularly important for people with anorexia and bulimia because their behaviors are obsessive compulsive in nature, as well as their thoughts, or they would not have the problems they do. I was just watching a video with a young man who was speaking to the fact that he's still fighting his eating disorders, even though he's been to a few programs over the last 5 years, and falsely believes that obsessive-compulsive disorders is something that he needs to manage. Well, I'm here to tell you that's absolutely untrue. That's based on 20 years of doing hypnotism and neurolinguistic programming, otherwise known as NLP, with people with these problems, be they eating disorders, obsessive-compulsive disorders in general, anxiety, which obsessive-compulsive disorders actually falls under the label of anxiety disorders, and anything and everything that is involved in these things. The reason that the conventional mental health professionals have no concept of how to get rid of these things is because they're not trained to get rid of these things. They're trained to medicate these things, or to give you a bunch of cognitive behavioral therapeutic interventions that you have to constantly think about, which is impossible. Because if you think about any other habit you may have wanted to quit, including things like biting your nails, or maybe not drinking as much alcohol as maybe you were, or whatever the case is. Something not associated with eating disorders in particular, since this work I am now promoting has everything to do with eating disorders, you'll find out how very difficult it is to use your conscious mind, meaning your prefrontal cortex, in order to stop these things, especially if you're still in your hypnotic mind, meaning under the age of 26 for males and 25 for females, because the nature of your mind and your brain is to not worry about things in the future. There is no such thing as impulse control in most cases because there's no forethought. That comes after the prefrontal cortex develops much more, which is why parents and other adults have it wrong when they decide that their kid needs to be more developed than they are, looking for their kids to think before they act, when in fact their brains aren't developed enough to make that happen. It's idiotic. And it's about time parents and adults learned how kids' brains develop, physiologically speaking. And then they'd understand better why it is that kids do what they see are stupid things. That be it as it may, if my clients are still in their hypnotic minds, meaning under the age of 26 for males and 25 for females, it is very easy for me to help them to let go of their obsessive compulsive thoughts and behaviors, and with that, their eating disorders. There is no reason why you feel like you can't get rid of this crap, because you can. I have 17 years of experience helping my clients do just that. Most of the kids that I started with back in 2005, 2006 are now adults living productive, happy lives. How do I know? Because I'm still in contact with some of them. Isn't that awesome? To know for a fact that the work worked. Not for a few days, not for a few months, but for 17 years. So this is the deal, folks. If you actually want to get help that works, perhaps you should look into my program and ask me for more information. I'm going to be very upfront with you. It's $20,000 to help people to get rid of eating disorders because we're dealing with physiological problems as well as mental health and emotional problems. It's complicated. So it's not easy. We're dealing with the obsessive-compulsive disorders, the anxiety, and in a lot of cases, major depression on top of it all. But I do have the tools and techniques after 30 years in mental health with psychiatric patients, clients, and several years working in nursing care. I just overlaid my hypnosis and neurolinguistic programming tools and techniques onto these things I already know, which is something that most of the people in the world of hypnotism cannot give to you. And I can tell you the medical community is against hypnosis more often than not because they don't understand it, they're scared by it because they will not learn about it. I wish to hell they would all learn how to better speak to their patients so as to not to scare them and to give them the ability to actually gain control of their minds and their bodies. That would be a really great thing. However, for whatever reason, well, I know why, it has a lot to do with the American Psychiatric Association, the Social Work Associations, and the American Medical Association, where drugs are the way, and drugs are never going to help you to overcome any of this crap. Trust me on this one. So, again, if you want to find out more about what I have to offer, all of my information will be in the description below the video. Do email me and write in the subject line, interested in learning more about your program for obsessive compulsive disorder, or if the other issue is your eating disorders. Let me know if you're male or female. I do both. There are differences between the two that most programs don't have a clue about. So that is what I have to offer you today. As always, I thank you for spending your time with me. Till next time. Bye-bye all.